Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shunji Yamanaka, and I'm a product designer. I've designed a lot of things: cars, trains, cameras, wristwatches, kitchen equipment, cell phones, furnitures, and even radish graders. I think the prepaid IC card Suica and Passmo that some of you have used this morning was also one of my designs. So my apologies if you have any problems with it. I wanted to make use of this wonderful opportunity to introduce my entire body of work, but we have very limited time, so I decided to change the content and talk about what I first do when I create something, which is the preliminary sketching. I think you may even join me. You're welcome to join me if you want. So this is gonna be drawing. I'm gonna draw from scratch in front of you, so I hope it goes well. First, this is simply warm-up exercise. This is what I usually do, and I draw circles and oval shapes, and to check my hands to see if it works well, and also whether my pen, the ink is running properly, and also things like how big the drawing I want to draw, etc. It's really quite like how an orchestra tuned to a concert A played by oboe before they begin. This is basically the same thing as that. Okay, now that I'm done with warm up, now I'm gonna draw, and it's a bit dark here, but if you have a piece of paper, please feel free to take it and just draw with me. So today I'd like to begin by drawing like a child. Oh, I think the hall is brighter now. First, let's draw two circles. What is this? What does it look like to you? I don't think that you can tell what it is, but if I draw that, I think you'll be able to guess that it's a face. Humans are very interesting creatures because if I do that, if I draw a circle like that, they will know that it's a face. And the neck, and this is the body. It's really quite amazing that humans understand that this is face just by looking at this. Just by drawing different parts of a face, it looks like a face, even though a real face is actually more complex. So you have saved this image of what a face looks like, and so when I draw, I'm actually utilizing that image that you've saved in your brain. And next to it, I'm gonna draw another round, and I think even a children can draw this, but this is a face drawn from the side. And the body. But here, this is the important part. If you look from the front it's round, and also the same from the side. You can tell that it's not a circle, but in fact it's a round surface. A ball or a round surface is similarly just a circle. If it's faced to the front, then it's the dot will be in the front. But by shifting it slightly to the front, you will be able to create the round surface and the three-dimensional structure of the object. Here, let me draw a different version here. I'm going to draw it in a different way. I'm not just going to draw a round circle inside a circle, but I'm going to draw a slightly oval-shaped circle. Just by doing that, you can tell that it's round. So humans are very sensitive to these changes, and they can immediately tell whether it's supposed to be round, circle, or oval. And by making these slight changes, you can tell easily that this is supposed to be a three-dimensional figure. And next, I'm gonna add the body, and I'm gonna draw it this way. Just by slanting the body a little bit, it suddenly becomes very lifelike. So what I did here was follow this line, which is actually the backbone. And so by keeping that in mind, I drew this figure and to make it more lifelike. Compared to this plain object, it becomes immediately more alive. So I've tried to show you these two simple concepts with these three pictures. All right, I think this is as far as it goes. So these are the three figures I've drawn. What I want you to realize is there are two things I want you to realize. The first is giving it a three-dimensional structure. And the second one is the inner structure. By adding the backbone, I gave it a sort of inner structure. And so these are the two things I added to make it more lifelike and three-dimensional. This slight reflection of reality is essential. I think a lot of you, when we talk about a lifelike drawing, we think of photos and detail and perfect replica of the object. But it's actually based on a very simple concept. Even painters do the same thing as what I just showed you. I'm going to demonstrate that right now. Pretend this is a ball. We're gonna draw an oval shaped object and another one. I think it looks a little bit gross, but we'll assume this is a ball, and we can cut a line here and draw an eyelid, and I'm gonna thicken this part. And can you tell what this is? These are eyelashes. think I'm gonna add a bit of double eyelid to make it cuter and make it maybe a little bit more sleepy by adding the dark eyes and thick dark eyebrows. And on the other side, we're gonna draw another eye, another three-dimensional object. Thank you very much. So this is a picture of two eyeballs facing a certain direction with the nose in between. And I just draw this based with three-dimensional structure in mind, and it can produce this very real lifelike drawing. And applying the same concept to designing is important. All right, I'm gonna draw a few more oval shapes now. I'm a little bit tired. I think circles and round shapes are often used in many human creations, and I'll do the same too. I'll try to draw ovals and overlapping oval shapes, and you add more ovals. Oh, I almost showed you a design of a wristwatch that's not been released yet. Well, anyway, this is what I do. I consider the three-dimensional structure when designing. And now I'd like to go back to drawing a human body shape again. When drawing a human body, there's a rhythm, and you basically just follow this rhythm and the curved lines when you draw. So you can clearly see the lines take shape here. A few years ago, I met an amazing runner, and she just started running. But when she was in junior high school, she lost her leg. So when I showed this, I saw her movement and I created a design that is light but also tough at the same time. try to show this to you. Here we go. This is how I design. This is how I designed Miss Sakita Kakua's prosthetic leg. Thank you very much for listening.